non-competitive inhibition. And what are those things? Let's look at out in a very basic overview. So the difference between competitive and non-competitive. To understand that, you should know what is competitive enzyme inhibition and what is non-competitive enzyme inhibition. Now, in competitive enzyme inhibition, the term says competitive. That means there is a competition between the concentration of substrate and the inhibitor upon binding to the enzyme. Okay, that's why it's known as competitive inhibition. Now, if the concentration of substrates is way more than the concentration of the inhibitor, then substrate is going to bind to the enzyme and enzyme is to convert the substrate into the product, right? And the enzyme process will be complete. Now, if the inhibitor concentration is more than the substrate concentration, in that case inhibitor is going to bind to the enzyme and no product will be formed. Now, remind you one thing, in competitive inhibition, enzyme is a position where enzyme can only pair with either of this one, either inhibitor or the substrate. It cannot pair with both of them at the same time. It's not possible. But while in the non-competitive inhibition, an enzyme is in such a state where it can bind with both inhibitor as well as substrate at the same time. Now the situation is, if it's bound with both, then the inhibition will stop the process. But if it's bind only to the substrate, then it will convert the substrate into product. So these are the major difference between the competitive and non-competitive enzyme inhibition. So just look at here, this is the first case of competitive inhibition. Now the scenario is, there is an enzyme, this is the active side, this is the active side of the enzyme, okay, and this is substrate, this is the inhibitor, okay. Now the situation is, the enzyme can either pair with substrate or can bind with inhibitor. If it's bind with the substrate, then enzyme substrate complex will be formed and it will give us the product, okay. Now if inhibitor binds to the active site, then it will give us enzyme inhibitor complex that will no longer produce any product, right. Now there is a competition between the substrate and inhibitor concentration here, okay. So if the inhibitor concentration is more than substrate, then we are not going to get any product. But if the substrate concentration is more than inhibitor, we are going to get the product. Very easy, guys, nothing to be worried about in this particular case, very easy. Now in the second thing, non-competitive inhibition. In a non-competitive inhibition, what we see, enzyme have multiple sites where the substrate can bind, okay, and where also other molecules can bind which can influence the binding of substrate, okay. Those regions are known as allosteric sites, okay. So this is the active site, but this is the allosteric site, okay. So both of the sites are present. Now I told you, in non-competitive inhibition, enzyme can bind with both of them together, okay. Now there is a substrate. Now the one possibility is that substrate will bind to the active site. Now once substrate is attached to the active site, it can convert us into the product. We can get product. No inhibition. Now this is the inhibitor. Now inhibitors will bind to this allosteric site because it has a specific structural configuration so that it can bind to the allosteric site. Now if the inhibitor binds to the allosteric site, upon binding of the inhibitor to the allosteric site, it can change the active site structure, okay. Now let's say the scenario can be both. The inhibitor can bind with both of them. Inhibitor can bind with a blank enzyme which do not have any of the substrate bound, or it can also bind with a substrate bound enzyme, that is the enzyme substrate complex. This is the uniqueness about non-competitive inhibition. Inhibitor can bind not only with enzyme but also with enzyme substrate complex. Now in either way, upon binding of the inhibitor to this allosteric site, it will modify the active site of the enzyme. So as it is modifying the active site of the enzyme, if there is substrate bound, due to this modification the substrate will fall off, okay, it will fall off, it will no longer be bound, so no product will be found, okay. And if there is no substrate bound, inhibitor binds to the allosteric site, it will again modify the active site, so no further substrate molecule can pair, so there will be no product formation. So in either way it is going to block the product formation. Okay, so these are the basics of competitive and non-competitive inhibition. Now remember, in the earlier video we talked about competitive, non-competitive and mixed inhibition, where I told you that competitive inhibition can also possible like this way. Okay, in case of this enzyme there can be also allosteric site present. Okay, and the same thing can happen. Okay, the inhibitor can bind to the allosteric site which can modify the active site, but in that case the inhibitor can bind only with the enzyme. If inhibitor is binding to the enzyme, no substrate can bind, right? But if substrate is bound to the enzyme, inhibitor cannot bind. Okay, in that case, because in competitive only one can bind with the enzyme, either inhibitor or substrate, but in this case both of them can bind. Okay, now just for slightly depth overview, I am going to give you the idea about the graphs that we are going to see. If I draw the graphs, you see the rate of the reaction here, and the substrate concentration at the rate of the reaction. That is the speed of the reaction also, you can say. Now the idea, okay, so if I draw the graph, let's say the graph where there is no inhibitor is added, okay, only the substrate and enzyme in the reaction. So in that case we will see a graph like this. Okay, slightly like this. Okay, this is the maximum velocity that an enzyme reaction can achieve. Okay, this is the maximum velocity, or let's say Vmax. Okay, in this curve. Now if I draw the graph for competitive inhibition, what it will look like? It will look something like this, like this. But this is how the competitive inhibitor graph will look. In non-competitive inhibition, the graph will look something like this. Like this. So what does this three thing mean? If we look at here, when there is no inhibitor, that means we require the substrate concentration to reach maximum velocity. Now let's just look at here. Very less substrate concentration required here. So this is the substrate concentration in the x-axis. So if I drag it down, this one, this is the substrate concentration that we require to reach the maximum velocity. Okay, let's say it's a value, let's say the value is very less. Okay, now if we add an inhibitor, competitive inhibitor, in that case we can receive the maximum velocity, and the maximum velocity that we can receive upon adding competitive inhibitor is also the same that we can achieve without the inhibitor. Okay, but what competitive inhibition is doing, it's increasing the amount of substrate that we require. See, earlier if there is no inhibitor, we require less substrate concentration to reach the maximum velocity, but here now we require more substrate concentration, almost kind of double here, to reach that same maximum velocity. But we can reach, but we need to increase our substrate concentration. Question is why? Because there is a competition between substrate and inhibitor. So if we increase the substrate concentration kind of two folds here, that can beat the inhibitor molecules to bind. Substrate molecules will more attach to the enzymes because they are much abundant then. Okay, and then the reaction can go forward. But in case of non-competitive inhibition, this is the non-competitive inhibition. In this case, the scenario is completely different. The maximum velocity that we can achieve is very less compared with the others. Why? Because in this case, in either way, whether you have substrate bound or not, it's going to prevent the reaction process. So we're never going to reach the maximum velocity, right? We're never going to reach there, because in this case there will be inhibition. If we increase the substrate concentration, still it will not help. Why? Because if we increase the substrate concentration, substrate will bind to the enzymes, but still enzyme will also bind to the inhibitor, and whenever inhibitor binds to the allosteric site, it will not allow the enzyme substrate complex to convert it into the product. Okay, so you're never going to reach that Vmax, so it will be stabilized in the bottom. Okay, so Vmax will be reduced in this case of non-competitive inhibition. So this is the idea about the competitive inhibition and non-competitive inhibition, and I hope this video helps you. If you like this video, please hit the like button, click this subscribe button here or in the bottom to subscribe to my channel to get more and more videos like that. Thank you.